So today we're going to dive deep into Jack Harlow's Lovin On Me.
Okay.
We're going way, way beyond just like the catchy beats,
Yeah.
like the fun lyrics and stuff.
Right.
We're trying to uncover some of the really thought-provoking themes
Interesting.
about freedom, vulnerability, and how we deal with relationships these days, modern relationships.
It really is fascinating.
Isn't it?
How, like, a song that seems so lighthearted, on the surface, can actually, like, spark some deep conversations
Totally.
about intimacy and stuff.
And that's what we're here for. We've got all these blog posts that break down like the lyrics and stuff. And we're going to explore all the deeper layers.
I love it.
So get ready to unpack how Harlow redefines love.
Yeah.
Challenges kind of those expectations we have about love.
Right.
And maybe even inspires us to rethink how we do relationships ourselves.
I think you'll be surprised.
Yeah.
By what we find out.
All right, so let's start with that opening line, okay?
Right.
The one that sets the kind of like the tone for the whole song.
Yeah.
I don't like no whips and chains, and you can't tie me down.
Right.
So what's your take on that?
Okay. Well,
Is this just about like romantic relationships, or is Harlow talking about something bigger?
yeah, I think that line is so powerful because it really gets at this universal need for freedom.
Yeah.
Harlow's not just rejecting like being controlled
Right.
in like just a romantic way, but he's pushing back against like all the pressures and the expectations that society puts on us that tries to like box us in.
So it's like a statement about being yourself and living on your own terms.
Actually, yeah.
I'm curious about how the blogs interpret this idea. This yearning for freedom, but also wanting to be in a relationship. How do they kind of fit those two together?
It's interesting because the blogs, they argue that Harlow's not actually saying no to love altogether.
Okay.
He's kind of like redefining it.
Okay.
So they suggest that that real intimacy, like it's not about possessing the other person or like controlling them.
Yeah.
In fact, one of the blogs they quote this line: "It's a vulnerable act to say, I'm here, but I don't need to control you or be controlled."
Wow, that's powerful,
isn't it?
It kind of flips the script on what we normally think about love.
Yeah.
So is he saying that freedom is like a way of expressing love?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about giving each other the space to be your true selves.
Yeah.
Without like feeling suffocated,
Yeah.
or limited.
Yeah.
The blog suggests that this that freedom actually can make relationships stronger.
Oh, interesting.
Because it builds mutual respect.
Right.
And it lets each person in a relationship grow.
Okay, I'm starting to see how a song that just seems like a party anthem could actually be saying something really really profound about love, about modern love.
Absolutely.
About how complicated it is.
Yeah.
Wow, and we're just getting started.
Yeah, this is just the beginning.
Okay, well, things get even more interesting when we look at the next line, which kind of seems to contradict what he just said about freedom.
Oh, okay.
He goes on to say, "But you can whip your lovin' on me, baby." That seems a little intense, don't you think?
It is, yeah. And that's what makes this song so interesting. It just embraces like these totally opposite desires that a lot of us feel,
Yeah.
when it comes to relationships.
Totally.
Like on the one hand, we want freedom, right?
Right.
We want to be independent.
But we also want to be close to someone.
But then on the other hand, we also really crave that intense connection.
Yeah.
And that passion.
So how do the blogs, how do they explain this, like, contradiction? What do they say about this whole whipping love thing?
One blog points out that the word whipping, it's not, it's not meant to be literal. It's more like a symbol for, like, that passionate surrender that we sometimes crave, even when we're trying to, be independent. It's like we want to, like, lose ourselves in love, but also keep our sense of self.
Wow, yeah, that makes sense. It's like a dance between two like opposite things, and trying to find the right balance.
Exactly, and I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Yeah,
that struggle to find a good balance.
For sure.
Like think about your own relationships. Like your close relationships.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel that?
What
That push and pull.
Yeah, that push and pull.
Between wanting to be connected and wanting to be, on your own.
Yeah, now that you mention it, I totally see that in my own life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really value being independent, but I also crave, like those close connections where you can really be yourself and be vulnerable.
I think it's something that we all go through. It's a human thing.
Yeah.
And Harlow's music, it just captures that feeling, that tension in a way that feels really honest and relatable.
Definitely. But we can't ignore the fact that he uses some pretty strong language.
Right.
It's pretty bold.
Yeah.
It's even a little shocking, honestly, when you first hear it.
Yeah.
I'm curious to hear what you think about the next line. It's even more provocative.
Okay.
He says, "I'm vanilla, baby. I'll choke you, but I ain't no killer, baby." How did the blogs, how do they make sense of this?
Well, this line, it definitely makes a statement. And the blogs, they get that. It's meant to be kind of jarring.
Yeah.
But they also say it's actually pretty insightful about how Harlow sees himself, and how he approaches relationships.
Okay, so it's not just shock value.
No.
There's something more to it.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so what is that deeper meaning?
One blog breaks it down like this.
Yeah.
Vanilla, it represents like a soft side, while choking represents intensity.
Oh, okay.
So it's like Harlow's saying, hey, I'm not just one thing.
Yeah.
I have all these different sides. I can be tender, and I can be passionate. I can be gentle, but I can also be assertive.
Yeah.
He's saying, like, I'm a complex person.
Oh, I'm starting to see how this connects back to what we were talking about before about, like being your true self and all that.
Yeah.
So she's saying, hey, I'm not just this one thing.
Right.
I'm a human being with all these different emotions and desires, and I'm not afraid to show all of them.
Exactly.
Wow.
And, being okay with your own complexity.
Yeah.
It makes you more authentic in your relationships, too.
Totally.
Because if you can accept your own, your own contradictions, your own nuances, then you're probably going to be more open and honest with your partner.
And that just makes the relationship, like, stronger, right?
Exactly. It's about being seen.
Yeah.
And accepted for who you truly are.
Yeah.
The good and the bad.
And this brings us to a really interesting point that a lot of the blogs bring up.
Okay.
About Harlow's music reflecting a bigger struggle that we all face when it comes to modern relationships.
Yeah.
It's like he's tapping into something that we're all going through. It's like Harlow's music. It's not just about, the catchy tunes or the clever lyrics. It's like he's tapping into some real anxieties we have about love and relationships.
Right. And the blogs, they point out that he's not, giving us all the answers, like easy solutions or anything like that.
Right. Instead, he's kind of like prompting us to look at our own relationships and our own beliefs about intimacy and freedom.
He's like holding up a mirror, right? And asking, like, are we holding on too tight? Or are we giving enough space for each person to grow?
Right.
Are we running away from being vulnerable, or are we embracing it?
Exactly. And that's what makes Lovin' On Me so much more than just entertainment, It makes you think, It challenges us to like really look at our own patterns.
Yeah, our own desires.
And our desires.
It's like he's saying, hey, I'm trying to figure this out too.
Yeah.
Maybe we can all learn from each other.
I love that interpretation because it really shows that that Harlow's not like preaching.
Yeah, he's not like telling us what to do. He's not telling us what to do. He's exploring, he's asking questions, and he's inviting us to,
to come along for the ride.
To come along. Exactly.
And that ride seems to be all about trying to find that balance between, freedom and connection, vulnerability, and strength.
And the blogs really emphasize that true intimacy.
Yeah.
It's not about choosing one or the other. No. It's about understanding that both can exist at the same time.
Even though they seem kind of opposite.
Even though they seem opposite.
It's like a paradox, right? You can want to be independent and also crave a deep connection.
Yeah.
You can be strong and vulnerable at the same time.
Exactly. And I think that's why his music is so relatable,
Yeah.
He's expressing that internal struggle, that push and pull that we all feel.
Between being free and being loved.
Right, exactly.
And it's not just about romantic relationships, is it?
No, it's not.
It's in our friendships, our families, even our relationship with ourselves.
You're totally right. One of the blogs even uses the term anxious attachment.
Oh, wow.
To describe that fear we have of losing ourselves in any relationship, whether it's romantic or platonic.
Or even with family.
Family, yeah.
I think a lot of people struggle with that.
Yeah.
I know I do. Like that fear of getting too close and losing, your independence.
And Harlow's music speaks to that fear, directly. He's saying it's okay to want both things, to want connection, but also not want to give up your sense of self.
So how do we find that balance?
Right.
How do we make those two things work together?
Well, one of the blogs, it has a really nice way of putting it. It says that Harlow reminds us that true intimacy is about celebrating each other.
Yeah.
Not possessing each other.
That's a really important difference.
It is. It's about seeing the other person for who they are.
Yeah.
And appreciating them for who they are.
Yeah.
And choosing to connect with them on a deeper level.
But not trying to change them or control them.
Exactly. It's about supporting their growth.
Yeah.
And their journey.
Yeah.
Not trying to control them or limit them.
It's about creating a space, I guess, where both people feel, safe to be themselves.
Safe and accepted, yeah.
Without feeling judged or like they have to be a certain way.
Right. And it's about being honest with yourself,
Yeah.
About your own needs and your own desires.
Yeah.
Are you trying to control the other person?
Right.
Or are you giving them the freedom to be who they are?
This brings us back to that question we started with,
Yeah.
How do we actually do this? What does it look like to celebrate each other instead of possessing each other in our everyday lives?
That's the big question, isn't it?
It is.
And it's something we need to keep thinking about and be willing to challenge our assumptions about love and relationships.
It's about, going beyond just the surface, beyond just the catchy lyrics and the music you can dance to really wrestle with what it means to connect with another person.
And I think that's what makes this deep dive so valuable.
Yeah.
It's not just about, taking apart a song.
Yeah.
It's about using what we learn as a way to learn about ourselves.
Yeah, and to grow.
Exactly.
It's about asking those tough questions,
Yeah.
Being willing to be uncomfortable and challenging, those beliefs about love and intimacy that we might not even realize that we have.
Right. And it's about understanding that the journey itself
Yeah.
is just as important as the destination.
There's no one right answer to how to find that perfect balance between freedom and connection.
Right. It's a lifelong journey.
Yeah.
A constant dance between two things that seem opposite.
But Harlow's music gives us hope, don't you think?
Yeah.
That it's a dance worth learning.
I think so. Yeah.
And maybe, just maybe, if we embrace our own complexity and really see and honor the complexity in other people, we can create relationships that are both freeing and fulfilling.
I love that. I love that idea. It's about letting go of those whips and chains.
Yeah.
Both literally and figuratively.
Right.
And just letting love happen naturally on its own terms.
That brings us to the heart of the matter, right? How do we actually take these ideas, these philosophical ideas, and turn them into things we can do? Yes.
In our own lives.
That's where things get really interesting.
Yeah.
Let's explore that in the final part of our deep dive.
So we've talked about how Jack Harlow's "Lovin On Me" is like a guide to building those healthy, fulfilling relationships, right?
Yeah, it's all about finding that balance.
Yeah.
Between, wanting freedom and wanting connection.
Yeah, celebrating each other, but also being your own person.
It's tricky.
It is. It's a delicate balance.
It is.
But the blogs, they actually offer some practical advice on how to actually do that. You know?
Yeah.
I'm really curious to hear what they say.
Oh, yeah.
Because, taking those philosophical ideas and putting them into action, that can be tough.
It can be, but one thing that comes up a lot in the blogs is communication.
Okay.
And I don't mean just like small talk.
Right. I'm talking about like real deep, honest conversations.
Yeah.
About, what you need, your boundaries, what you want, your fears.
Yeah.
All of it.
So it's about like going beyond how was your day?
Exactly.
And really digging into, like what makes you tick?
Yeah. What makes you feel loved? What makes you feel respected?
And what makes you feel trapped, I guess.
Yeah. Or controlled.
Yeah.
It's about being able to say what you need.
Yeah.
In a clear way.
Yeah.
But also being able to listen to your partner and understand what they need.
Even if it's different from what you need.
Yeah, even if it's different. And the
yeah.
blogs also say that it's not a one-time thing.
Right. It's got to be ongoing.
It's got to be ongoing, yeah.
It's like a constant conversation.
Yeah, it's like a dance.
Yeah.
You're constantly,
adjusting, learning new moves.
Yeah, responding to the music.
So you got to be willing to have those tough conversations.
Yeah.
Even when it's uncomfortable, even when you're scared to rock the boat.
And it's about really listening,
Yeah.
Listening with an open heart.
Yeah.
Even when you don't agree.
Right.
Even when you feel defensive or whatever.
Because those are the moments that you can actually grow.
Exactly.
From those disagreements, from those times when there's friction.
Yeah, it's a chance to understand each other better.
Right.
Have more empathy.
Yeah.
To make the relationship stronger.
The blogs also say that that good communication, it requires you to know yourself. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah. You have to know what you need before you can tell someone else.
Right.
And you got to be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
About whether you're trying to control things or be possessive.
Because we all do that, right? To some degree.
We all do. It's human nature, but we got to be aware of it.
Yeah.
And try to let go.
So it's about trusting your partner to be themselves.
Yeah.
Even if that means, they're not always right there with you.
And trusting yourself to know that you're worthy of love, even when you're not in control.
That's a powerful idea.
It is. It's about letting go of the reins.
Yeah.
And letting the relationship just happen.
Because you can't force intimacy.
No.
You got to create the right space for it.
Yeah, a space where it can grow.
Yeah.
And that takes vulnerability from both people.
You got to be willing to be open.
Yeah, to be seen.
To show your true self.
Yeah, to embrace the messiness of it all.
And maybe that's what Lovin On Me is really all about, It's about letting go of those ideas we have about what love should be. And just going with it.
Yeah, embracing the chaos.
Yeah, the ups and downs.
Yeah,
and discovering what it really means to celebrate each other.
Love isn't a destination; it's a journey.
Yeah, it's a dance.
It's a dance, and sometimes the best moves are the ones where you let go.
Yeah,
and just move freely.
So I guess as we wrap up this deep dive, the question is how do we create relationships that give us both, the freedom and the connection?
Yeah, how do we celebrate each other without losing ourselves? It's
a question we all got to keep asking.
We do, but I think if we're honest with each other, if we respect each other, and if we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we can build relationships that are really fulfilling.
Yeah, and really free.
And free, yeah.
It's about remembering that love, it's not about possessing someone.
No.
It's about empowering them.
Exactly.
To be themselves.
To grow, to change.
Yeah, to become the best version of themselves.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Into Jack Harlow's "Lovin' On Me."
It's a great song.
We hope it's made you think about your own relationships and embrace all the the complicated and beautiful parts.
Yeah, the messiness.
Of love and freedom.
Keep asking questions.
Yeah.
Keep exploring. Keep dancing.
And remember, the best connections, the most real connections, are the ones where you can just be yourself.
Yeah, be yourself no matter what.